stud type actor, or at least a movie. You could have a trilogy of movies. Some hot, as far as hot, I meant popular. And I guess for the ladies, hot, good looking. Drew Brees type, but as an actor, playing Jim Rockford. That was a cool show in the 70s. Jim Rockford was cool. Anyway, Corey Johnson back at you. I liked Angel, that insane friend of his on the program, too. Angel was loony. A gorgeous day. Absolutely incredible weather day outside. Doesn't get much better than this. Very breezy. Like probably too breezy to fly a kite, let's say. Pretty good wind going out there. Hurricane Ian, Category 4 hurricane, winds at $140, 150 miles an hour. Storm surge hitting Florida, right around Fort Myers. It's a little south of Sarasota, which is a little south of St. Petersburg, which is a little south of Tampa. That southwestern coast of the state of Florida. It's crazy because about 500 miles, the eye is about 500 miles from us right now as the bird flies across the Gulf. From the Superdome to about the eye of this storm right now, about 500 miles. And we've got crazy good weather. And the Mississippi Gulf Coast, crazy good weather. And the Alabama Gulf Coast, perfect. The Panhandle of Florida, as good as it gets. Those great beaches from where the Apalachicola dumps out all that white sugar-like quartz sand right around, I guess, St. George Island, a little east of Panama City. And then coming towards Panama, that's high and dry, sunny, beautiful day on St. George Island. And then like 100 miles southeast or so, 200 miles southeast of that island, the storm. It's crazy. Very dense, very tight. Weather's pretty good in Miami right now. The sun's trying to come out in Miami, right across the state. And speaking of across the state, this storm goes from the Atlantic into the Caribbean, into the Gulf of Mexico. It's expected to go across the state of Florida now. I mean, going basically from a due west direction to due north, now to due east across the state of Florida, back out into the Atlantic for a second time, up the eastern seaboard a little bit, and then maybe Savannah, Charleston, a weaker storm because of going across the state of Florida, a weaker storm because of the not as warm waters in the Atlantic, especially there compared to the Caribbean and Gulf, especially down Cuba, the Keys. Tampa, very fortunate. You know, we often talk about storms in New Orleans, and it's sad where you'd prefer it to hit, but a storm is better for us to hit the Mississippi Gulf Coast than it is to hit, say, the river parishes or Baton Rouge, that type direction, south of Baton Rouge, home of Thibodeau. Better for us, New Orleans, for it to hit southern Mississippi than southeast Louisiana. And you're like, well, yeah, of course, Corey. It's like, no. I'm talking about not the eye coming over New Orleans. Talking about the eye going over Biloxi, Gulfport, or, pick a side, and you want the storm to be on the eastern side. It's counterclockwise spin, pulling water out of the lake, out of the city, into the Gulf, not taking water and pushing it in. Tampa, you kind of flip the map. The storm hitting a good hour and a half or so, maybe 2 hours south of Tampa by car. 90 minutes south of Tampa by car. Counterclockwise, Tampa Bay, the bay in Tampa is empty. You can see the bottom. The water getting pulled out of the bay into the Gulf. Better the bay going into the Gulf than the bay and the Gulf coming into Tampa proper. So that's, you don't know where the storm hits. The storm hits a little, north of Tampa, and Tampa gets crushed. The bay gets inundated. It goes over the flood wall and floods the city. Corey Johnson with you. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. We got a good one. Ed Michel's going to join us not only today, releasing a report, tomorrow when he releases another report back to back with the Inspector General, Ed Michel. I could get this guy on a lot. I used to have on Bob Sarasoli, the original IG, City of New Orleans. Used to have him on every Wednesday on my program, once a week, not once a month, every Wednesday. Endless topics, endless discussion. Sometimes it would be a segment, sometimes two segments, sometimes the entire hour, depending on what was going on, what was going down. Ed Michel, finally, we've come full circle back to a real IG that's grinding, doing his job, apolitical, and getting a lot of pushback from this mayor, from this administration, from the city of New Orleans. The IG is this auditor. I mean, you have to remember the mayor, the council, the city. It's our city. It's elected officials. It's public. Work for us. We own it. So we want someone to follow the money, scrutinize the deals, the contracts, how city entities, offices, bureaus, agencies are doing business, how they operate. Is it efficient? Is it well run? Is it we're getting $1 out of $1 of taxpayer money, or is it broken, inefficient? A little bit, a lot, total dysfunction? I mean, my God. It's almost like, gosh, Corey, you say it that way, we should have a few IGs. You only need one. You can always expand the office. But no, Ed Michel is of vital importance. You want a strong IG. You want a strong U.S. Attorney, Eastern District of Louisiana. And you want a strong FBI guy running the FBI in New Orleans. You need those three things. And then you got a real fighting chance. You got a real fighting chance. No, because there's corrupt politicians, inept politicians, crooked politicians. There are city contractors, people that do business with the city, totally corrupt. What's wrong with our money, public people, having someone scrutinize those deals? There's supposed to be transparency and everything out in the open to begin with for us. So I love the IG for a city like New Orleans, my city. Are you kidding me? Dysfunctional, broken New Orleans for decades and decades. IG is something that could straighten things out, sends a message to people that maybe only these folks should run, certain folks that are civic-minded, not folks that are out for themselves. So Ed Michel will join us in a few minutes. The Wisner Trust, the mayor apparently spending millions and millions of this city entity, this land. It was about 500 acres by Port Fourchon that Mr. Wisner gave to the city of New Orleans, some to Tulane, I think, some to Salvation Army. Everybody's getting a percentage of this land, its value, what the city generates out of it. It's north of $10 million for the city. The city council looks like they're going to retake control of this. The city of New Orleans will retake control of it. The mayor had moved it into a private nonprofit. We'll fill you in on that. Boy, one of the good guys in the business, a total pro, and could do it all in this business, TV, Heath Allen, Channel 6, kind of low profile, humble, but you go, oh yeah, Heath. Everybody knows who he is. Always working, always grinding, always reporting, always covering the storm. Can report, can be an anchor, can host a show, can do anything. You can send him out on the road. He could be the assignment editor, the news director, the producer. I'm assuming Heath Allen probably could shoot. You give him a camera. Seriously. Can do it all and does it all at a real high level and just laid back and cool and humble and just focused on the job, not, pats on the back and accolades. Heath Allen, retiring at Channel 6. Good for him. Still young. Get out and enjoy your life. Love it. Hey, Rouse's Markets, get out and enjoy your life. Quality, selection, price. South Louisiana's grocery, New Orleans grocery. Tastes like home. There's one in your neighborhood or near your neighborhood. Rouse's Markets.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms with high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
This is what Drew Brees thinks about Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Actually, Brees doesn't think at all about Super Discount Store, but they do have the lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law for beer, alcohol, and wine. Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Super Discount Store!
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore in Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spots. NolaAC.com, your cool spots.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Thanks for joining us. It's crazy when you have weather like we've got today. About as good as it gets. And then right across the Gulf of Mexico, 500 miles away, devastation and destruction hitting our neighbors in Florida. It's almost like inconceivable. I mean, just two things, because of the great weather we're having and so close, another place is getting devastated. And the second thing, that storm could have just jogged towards the west and come right at us. And it's not done either. Just pounding Florida right now. It's going to traverse the state and weaken, head back out into the Atlantic, go up the eastern seaboard and not be nearly as strong, Cat 1, Cat 2, but even a Cat 1, lots of rain and water and flooding will hit like Savannah, Charleston area. Plus, it's not just south of Tampa that's getting hit pretty well. There's going to be communities across the state, tornadoes that could pop up. And then a secondary area getting kind of hit on the East Coast. Ed Michel joins us again on the program. As I said earlier, I could get this guy on all of the time. And as a matter of fact, he will be joining us again tomorrow. But he joins us today on the program. Ed, how are you?
I'm doing great, Corey. How are you?
Doing good. A pleasure to have you again.
As always, thank you for inviting me. We appreciate it.
I was explaining why the IG in a city like New Orleans especially is so important. What's it about? Providing us, the citizens, with transparency and accountability in government and following government spending and contracts with government and efficiency. And it's our money, literally, and it's an apolitical organization that just follows the facts, right?
Absolutely. And any large entity that has a significant amount of assets, so the city has close to $6 billion in assets and an annual budget of more than $500 million a year. So it's vitally important to make sure that those limited tax dollars that come in are spent in an efficient and effective manner, commensurate with the purposes of what they were meant for, and that in this case is the public good.
Hey, just like us, the citizens, at any time the IRS can ask you for documents, can request information about money you receive, bank accounts and the like, can put liens on your property, can audit you, can do a lot of things. No one wants that to happen, but every American, that's why we do our stuff legitimately. So it doesn't happen, or if it does, we can cover our rear ends with the information. It's even taken up another level, isn't it, Ed? I mean, we're individuals, we have our own choice what we want to do, be responsible or not. These are elected officials handling our money, public money, and they owe it to us to have the I's dotted, the T's crossed in their dealings, to be above board, legitimate. That's not a pat on the back or gold star for that. That's what's expected. And when the IG's office comes calling, these city entities should already have this info in order. You're not asking for anything above or beyond. It's hey guys, let me see the books. Let me see how your procedures on how you do things, that type of stuff, right?
Sure. I mean, and that's our job, and we are required to actually have access to any and all documents and expenditures associated with city funding. That's absolutely critical for us to have access to that information so we can do our job to ensure that there's efficiency and effectiveness in city government.
Almost seems like the IG, and maybe you guys already have this, maybe you don't want to say, but seems like every city computer, every city email, all of that should just be, IG should have access to that, at least after a certain time period, 7 to 10 days or something. I don't know. I don't know what the,
Well, it just depends on the expediency of the inquiry. But yes, we should have access to, whether it's in digital or paper format, any and all information associated with any expenditures regarding the $6 billion in assets or the $500 million plus in expenditures for the annual budget. Absolutely.
Ed Michel's with us, Inspector General, City of New Orleans. Ed, I'm not joking when I say this, kind of, sort of, but not really. Could you almost have someone at your office dedicated strictly to the Sewage and Water Board? My God, how many reports, how many audits, how many times have you guys investigated something going on directly or indirectly with the Sewage and Water Board?
Well, we've been there quite a bit. It seems recently. This most recent report that we issued yesterday was I believe the third consecutive report to associate itself with and focus on parking infractions and violations by Sewage and Water Board employees.
It's hard to believe. I mean, first and foremost, we're talking about downtown. What is that? St. Joseph Street. They have their own parking lot for employee vehicles. I think there's a lot that's real close. There's one that's sort of a secondary lot where you may have to walk a little bit, but take it from there, Ed, because there's been lots of instances, the handicap placards, using folks that, that have a parking spot and it's paid for and they're parking with the placard and maybe, I don't know, selling their parking spot to someone else to park. I have no idea, but lots of crazy stuff's going on with parking and the Sewage and Water Board downtown, and it continues. Fill us in on the latest.
Yeah, sure. So this is a follow-up to the second report we did, which, we found last year that there were 26 Sewage and Water Board employees who were fraudulently utilizing disability parking permits. 19 of those were just simply not authorized to possess a disability parking permit.
Wow.
Three of those were using permits that were issued to deceased persons, and another awesome. 19 were using permits that were issued to individuals other than themselves, and they were displaying those permits on their vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, no respect for themselves, obviously, doing that. But boy, no respect for the dead. And sadly, no respect for handicapped people. These are people that aren't handicapped, right? Just using the placards to take advantage of the spot up front by the door.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's very egregious when you consider that there is a parking garage that is available for some of these employees to park.
Yep.
And if you can add insult to injury when you calculate the total loss to the city. We've estimated it at about $134,000.
Does that include? Can't they park at a meter and not have to pay the meter?
Well, they could park at a meter if they are displaying a valid handicap permit for up to 3 hours.
That's even more money that was lost. And I know that's just a few bucks here and a few bucks there, but it all adds up. No, taking a person that needs to get down there looking for a parking spot, taking their spot, could be someone elderly, has to walk a block or two instead of right there. Just, I can go on and on. There's so many things that are wrong about it. So, all right, sorry to keep interrupting it. It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, no. So anyone who, has legitimately been issued or has a relative or a friend who has been legitimately issued a disability parking permit, would find, the report disconcerting, because individuals who have been legitimately issued parking permits have difficulty parking in the vicinity because all of the parking spots are taken, have been taken up by individuals who no longer are, or should not have the ability to.
And these people have a disability and need the spot. Anyway,
yeah. And so this latest matter was predicated by notification from the Department of Public Works, alleging that a Sewage and Water Board employee threatened a Department of Public Works parking enforcement officer via social media after the parking enforcement officer issued citations in the 600 block of St. Joseph Street.
So someone writing tickets, getting onto Sewage and Water Board vehicles parked illegally. This Sewage and Water Board employee was attacking him on social media. I saw some of the posts, to spelled T-O instead of T-O-O, and just lots of vulgarity and threatening, cursing, and the like. And like the ticket writer had some kind of agenda. It's like you're parking illegally. So where did it go from there after the threats online?
Yeah, well, I can't comment on, what was actually posted because, as you said, the postings were just of a threatening and vulgar nature, and I'm just not going to, repeat those online. But the victim in this case, the parking enforcement officer, rightfully so, became alarmed after seeing these social media posts, which, like I said, was of a threatening nature. They were extremely derogative, and it's just it's behavior that we just should not accept from our city employees.
Hey, Ed, I've got to take a quick break. Can I knock out the break and then we'll come back for about just a couple of more minutes so we can kind of finish up and see where this is kind of where it's concluding?
Sure.
Perfect. Ed Michel's with us, New Orleans Inspector General. By the way, he's going to come back and tell us a little preview of tomorrow's program. He's going to join us again for a few minutes with another report coming out. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Absolutely gorgeous, breezy day outside. Get out there and enjoy it already.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
Tommy's Lock and Alarms is now hiring service and installation technicians. Great benefits, great pay, take-home vehicle. Apply today. Tommy'sLockandAlarms.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday. Dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. And it handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Welcome back on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Hey, if you are disappointed with your dry cleaner, you want to experience the best? YoungsDryCleaning.com. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, even manless locker locations called Young's Express. Dozens and dozens and dozens of those all over the metro area. Probably one right where you live or work and you didn't even know it. To find out more about the best, a New Orleans institution since 1940, YoungsDryCleaning.com, YoungsDryCleaning.com. Ed Michel's with us, Inspector General, City of New Orleans. Ed, some of the stuff you guys do could save the city hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. Some of the things you guys do could lead to law enforcement getting involved, criminal activity being defeated. And some of the things are like a parking enforcement person getting harassed by another city employee, and who else is going to stay on top of this thing? So it's big and small to send out a message, I guess, that you're all on top of everything, right?
Sure. So when we decide to utilize our resources, we look at the reputational risk to the city, the financial risk to the city, and the operational risk. And this one falls in two of the three. The last report we did about this parking infraction, we estimated the city lost about $134,000 last year because of this illegal parking scheme that was going on. So it was not a small amount of money. And of course, when this employee began to post these threatening messages on social media, then it also impacted our reputational risk of the city as well.
In conclusion on this,
so this employee we found may have violated several civil service commission rules by posting these messages on social media. She failed to adhere to the Sewage and Water Board Employee Handbook regarding proper employee behavior. And lastly, she violated the city code because when we tried to talk to her about this matter, she either failed to cooperate with us or wouldn't answer our questions fully.
And you think that would be enough for termination, but is still employed by the Sewage and Water Board, correct?
That's correct. The Sewage and Water Board's disciplinary actions for this employee was to extend her probationary period, but unfortunately they did not, per the civil service rules, extend her probation in a timely manner. Thus, she achieved permanent employee status as a civil service employee.
And no pay, docked, or anything, just really no penalty at all.
She they attempted to extend her probationary period, but like I said, they didn't file the paperwork in time, and she did not have her probation extended, and so now she's a permanent employee.
I'm going to get Ghassan Korban on, and we'll talk about that and find out what's going on with that. Yeah, that's insane.
We believe all city employees should enjoy an environment that's conducive to productivity with mutual respect for all of our employees. And these actions were just simply not commensurate with respect or productivity. But the more we write these reports, hopefully the more incentive it will be for all city employees to behave in a professional manner.
That's what I don't get. Where's the Civil Service Commission? Where's the civil service folks for the ticket writer, for the woman that was writing the tickets that's getting harassed? Where are they representing her? Seem more concerned with the one that's doing the harm. Hey, Ed, tomorrow when you join us, what are we going to be talking about?
So tomorrow we're going to release a report on the City of New Orleans and Sewage and Water Board repair coordination audit. This is a joint project between the Sewage and Water Board and the Department of Public Works. And, the objectives of the audit was to determine if there were sufficient policies and procedures in place regarding this joint infrastructure program, as well as to ensure, accurate and timely data was submitted to ensure that our roads are going to be paved in a efficient and effective manner. And we will have several suggestions for improvement on how to increase productivity in the future.
Yeah, seems like you're already answering what I was about to say. I could give the macro on that. No, but yeah, we need you to do the minutia, the digging, and break it all down for us. Yeah, that should be interesting. I can't imagine that the Sewage and Water Board and the city's Department of Public Works, you said coordination. I'm trying to keep a straight face. Ed, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us, and look forward to visiting with you tomorrow to discuss that report.
Thanks again for having me, Corey, and I'll see you tomorrow.
A pleasure. That's Ed Michel with the Office of Inspector General. Tomorrow, the City Sewage and Water Board, this coordination audit, not report, Sewage and Water Board and the City Department of Public Works. We'll have Ed on tomorrow to discuss that when that report is officially released. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Thanks so much for joining us on a gorgeous day. Breezy out there, windy out there. Nice weather. You could just open up the windows and the doors right now. You don't even need to be running that AC. And believe it or not, I don't know, maybe in a few weeks, a month or so, dare I say it, we're sure folks might be cranking up heat. Going to get down into the mid to high 50s. You might crank up some heat overnight. One of you done, honey, I don't like this 65 in the house when I'm waking up in the morning. Put on a little heat for a couple of hours, and then we can turn it off and open up the windows and doors once the sun comes up. River City's Total Maintenance has you covered with air conditioning, with heater service, whatever you need. They're air conditioning and heating experts for 40 plus years in South Louisiana. There are three things you need with an AC crew, with some folks that you hope to be your ace in the hole, where these are my air conditioning guys. I never worry about it again for the rest of my life. I'm not searching online or going to the old school yellow pages or calling friends. Hey, man, I need an AC guy. Who do I use? I've been using Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys for over a decade. Honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately when you're goes down and it's working, you're inconvenienced. Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys realize this. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. You can find them at nolaac.com, nolaac.com, or call them 841-3300, 841-3300. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Absolutely gorgeous day. Hey, I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate or two to give away. Besides the Artemis rocket, name the two other major NASA projects built out in New Orleans East, out at Michel. The two other major space projects built out at Michel, out in New Orleans East, the NASA facility. That facility, that building has 42 acres. The Superdome roof is 10 acres. The Superdome roof is 10 acres. That building has 42 acres, climate controlled, all under one roof. 42 acres. At one time, one of the largest buildings in the world. At one time, one of the largest climate-controlled buildings in the world. 42 acres, 4 Superdome roofs. under one roof. It's a pretty amazing place out there at Michel. Doesn't get enough hype, doesn't get enough appreciation locally. A lot of folks wouldn't even know how to get out there. A lot of New Orleanians would have no clue how to get out there. Besides the Artemis rocket, name the two other major NASA projects built out in New Orleans East at Michel at NASA. Give me the answer to that. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate. Listening on the radio, oh so fine, 93.9 FM, 93.9 FM. New Orleans own 107.9 FM, 107.9 FM. Maybe you're checking us out on TV till 5:30, Cox Channel 4, all over Louisiana. Spectrum, Channel 333, all over Louisiana. Maybe live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. Or on YouTube. Check us out on YouTube right now. Share the link with someone, with a buddy, a friend. Click to subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Wherever you're checking us out, Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 766-9480 to participate. Area code 504-766-9480. 766-9480. I know I've got a few other questions out there. Let's see. Someone did get the Pitt Theater, Allen Toussaint and Elysian Fields, the old movie theater that ain't there no more. Down the street, Allen Toussaint and West End Boulevard was a single theater that ain't there no more. And unlike the Pitt, which is now a Walgreens, this theater, I think, is just a lot, still an open lot for sale in that strip mall. Name that theater, and I've got 50 big bucks for you at the city's premier day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa. Name that theater. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. What's the mayor's maiden name? It's obviously a proper noun, but it's really a good adjective for her. What's her maiden name?
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
Talking about the Zulu King, y'all. Talking about the Zulu King.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Wednesday, a wide open Wednesday, where you're the show producer. Woodhouse Day Spa, 4 area locations. Find out more, NOLA.woodhousespas.com. That's NOLA.woodhousespas.com. Hey, where's the mayor from? What brought her to New Orleans? Question number 2. Question number 3, what's her maiden name? Hey, no Google, no Yahoo, no Bing. None of that. No search engines, no internet device. You either know the answer or you don't. Mayor's maiden name. That's one question. Where's the mayor from? Question number 2. Why did the mayor come to New Orleans, Louisiana? Question number 3. Pick one of those 3, and I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Someone did answer our question, one of 2 answers about Allen Toussaint Boulevard and Elysian Fields. The Pitt Theater was there. What theater was at Allen Toussaint and West End Boulevard? That ain't dare no more. Give me the answer to that. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Rouse's Markets phone lines 504-766-9480. 766-9480. How you participate on a wide open Wednesday or any day. Hey, besides the Artemis rocket out in New Orleans East, name 2 other major NASA projects built in New Orleans East at Michel. Give me the answer, and I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Rouse's Markets phone lines 504-766-9480. 766-9480. Mayor LaToya, the Destroyer Cantrell, continues to stay in the news. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I spoke about it yesterday. Social media keeps this recall effort alive, more so than normal, but probably not enough. But the mayor herself, and some folks were like, my God, Corey, I agree with you. Stop talking about it. The mayor herself keeps herself in the spotlight. But me talking about it, you think she's going to be like, boy, that's right, I better shut up? That you're thinking in a logical way, not in an emotional way. The mayor's going to just double down if she hears me saying this. So there's no problem with me letting the cat out the bag for normal, rational people to hear and realize it's true that No, the mayor keeps the recall alive by just opening her mouth with just total BS coming out of it over and over and over again. Let's hit the phone lines. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. James is on the Causeway Bridge on this wide open Wednesday. What up, James? What a gorgeous day.
Yes, sir, it is.
Are you doing 67 miles an hour, James? Hello?
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm only doing about 52 out here right now.
You're on the Causeway Bridge. You're only doing 52?
Yep. For whatever reason, I guess they got an accident or something up here because traffic's kind of backed up.
I got you. There you go. That sucks. Anyway. Hey, James, I got good news for you. In 4 minutes, Trey Yen opens in Mandeville. Tong Cho sauce and the like.
Okay.
Anyway. All right. What's on your mind, man?
Well, we'll make it up.
What's that? You're kind of
fading. We'll make it up there in time for that.
You're fading in and out on that bridge, James. Tell us what you're thinking. What's on your mind?
Well, the answer for your question, it would be the fuel tank for the space shuttle and the Saturn.
All right, you keep going in and out, but James, I think you got the answer. You are correct.
Yeah, you're right.
Ding, ding, ding.
Hey, Jason, put James on hold. Get some info from him. James on the Causeway. Don't go anywhere. You're going in and out of cells or whatever. Got a bad cell. But, yeah, I heard you. Space shuttle, external tank, Saturn V rocket boosters. Kaboom goes the dynamite. You are correct. Good work, James. 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse is coming your way. We head back to the phone lines, Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480 to Kennebra, where they land some rather large aircraft at a state-of-the-art facility. Joey joins us in Kennebra.
Hey, Corey, how are you?
What's up, Joey? Doing well, man. Thanks.
Good. I think the mayor is from the south side of Chicago?
That's incorrect, but funny.
You're wrong.
Okay. Well, I know where there's two places I knew she was from. That ain't it. I know the other one.
What's the other one?
Compton, California.
That's close enough, Los Angeles. You are correct.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you, man.
I know two places she's from. She only could be from one. What? I don't know if she has a South Chicago connection.
Well, I always thought it sounded like a kind of rough area, you know?
Oh, yeah, that mentality. Yes. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, I could tell you some stories of the mayor talking with business leaders in this city and for just some reason going, okay, I'm a woman. These are men. I need to talk to the men like we're in the locker room. Just like cursing and gutter mouth stuff. It's like, come on, LaToya. You don't have to communicate with men that way. There's other ways to communicate. But she enjoys that. I think that kind of, look, my mouth's going and I don't know if my brain's connected to it anymore, but it feels really good. So I'm going to keep going. Sort of that mentality. Anyway.
Yes, indeed.
Joey, don't go anywhere, all right? Joey's in Kennebra, and he picked up a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. James, Joey, Jason's going to get some info from you. Jason, a.k.a. the Ragin' Cajun, a.k.a. the Man in Black, a.k.a. the Heat Magnet, but not on a day like this. Nice weather continues all week into the weekend, into early next week. And what's shocking, Hurricane Ian hitting Fort Myers area, the Florida coast a few hours ago. Devastation. What's that, Blue Boy? Folks should consider Lebanon's Cafe for dinner tonight. Get the 6 lamb chops with all those sides for 20-something bucks. Best what? Best lamb chop deal in town. You're right, Blue Boy. Lebanon's Cafe tonight for dinner. Excellent call, Blue Boy. 93.9 FM, 107.9 FM, New Orleans. 5 o'clock powwow now.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the River, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans' grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarm. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your color so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, Helm Paint, let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Dr. David Banner, physician, scientist, searching for a way to tap into the hidden strengths that all humans have. Then an accidental overdose of gamma radiation alters his body chemistry. And now when David Banner grows angry or outraged, a startling metamorphosis occurs.
Uh-oh, who's that green dude ripping up his clothing? That shirt was expensive. What? Mr. Hall?
Is driven by rage and pursued by an investigative reporter.
Oh, boy.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
It sounds like LaToya the Destroyer. Don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock power hour on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a lot. Ed Michel, Inspector General, City of New Orleans, joined us. He'll join us again tomorrow because he's releasing another report, an audit, actually. I mean, these things are almost comical. You know the outcome. You know what's going down before it happens. It's about the Sewage and Water Board and the city's Department of Public Works, a coordinated effort to work together with all this FEMA money and street and sewage and water improvements. Did someone say two city entities and coordination in the same sentence? It's just an impossibility. Single city entities by themselves have trouble handling business. I mean, can you think of a city entity, seriously, that you're like, boy, they're well run, they're tight, they're efficient? Yeah, I just had one on, the Office of Inspector General. Not very many. Not very many. No, Ed Michel's always good. I love getting the Inspector General on because it's about providing us, the citizens, with transparency and accountability in government and government spending. Our money, how it's being spent. How can anyone be against it? There are people out there. It's weird because people are strange. I mean, Louisiana and Orleans got a lot of weird folks live vicariously through Edwin Edwards or Mark Morial or Bill Jefferson. It's just weird living through deviant criminal types. They like them getting away with the nonsense. It's strange. No, there are people that think, man, the IG, why are they auditing that? Why are they investigating that? Why are you questioning what they're investigating or auditing? It's a city entity that should be able to go, here you go. Here's last month's books. This is how we do it. Here's how we do it. Here's accountability. Here's where employees came and when and all that. I mean, come on. Think about yourself and you choose. Do you balance your checkbook or do you not? Do you pay taxes? Do you not? Do you do it right or not? You can screw it up and be a moron if you want. That's your choice. You're only hurting yourself usually. But the city of New Orleans, it's our city. It's public. We elect these people. They work for us literally. Get that through your head, New Orleans and Louisiana folks. These jerks work for us that we elect. We have the right to audit them and ask them for what they're doing and show us the books. And you want to cover that up? No, they're the people that defend those folks, think about them. You know, people sometimes will say things to you like, are you going to do that? And you're like, why would you think I'd do that? Because they would do that. They're the deviant people that would think about doing something deviant. They ask you, are you going to do that? And you're thinking, where does that come from? No, I'm honest. No, why? I'm insulted almost. Why would you think I'd do that? No, these people that defend this crooked, crazy New Orleans stuff, they're either politically connected. No, people that are politically connected are losers and live vicariously through the politically connected or politicians. Come on, something wrong with them. They're deviant. They break the rules. They're scam artists. They're not above board. The people that defend this are jokers. No, I love Ed Michel because he's more like Bob Sarasoli. We got an IG again in the city of New Orleans, a position that's vital. I mean, at the very least, it is a CPA type that audits and inspects city entities, where the dollars are going. Is it being spent efficiently? Are we getting a dollar's worth for every dollar spent? What New Orleanian would not only want that, would embrace that? Because we're not like, Minneapolis. We're broken, dysfunctional. We need an IG desperately. No, people that are against this, you have to question them. Plus, it's an apolitical office. Republican, Democrat, black, white, they don't care. Now, in the city of New Orleans, it's going to be 90% Democrat plus, because there are no Republicans. I mean, name a Republican that's in city government in New Orleans. Name one Republican. I'd like to know who it is. That's mind-boggling. No wonder New Orleans is so dysfunctional. And no, I'm not some proponent of Democrats over Republicans or Republicans over Democrat. I think they're both equally good, both equally bad. And I literally mean that. I know each side's scratching their head going, he's just saying that. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. The city doesn't have any conservative Republican voice. You're going to have dysfunction. Got to have something from the other side, for crying out loud. Even broken Louisiana elects a Democrat governor twice. And it's a hardcore right-wing state. Hardcore left-wing New Orleans doesn't budge. Republicans are like the devil, evil in New Orleans. It's unreal. Self-fulfilling prophecy of losing. So no, it's going to be mostly Democrat, and it's going to be mostly black because it's mostly black people in office. So no, if you're someone who doesn't like the IG and these audits, investigations, and reports, go look in the mirror. You like people that think like that? Think about what they're about. No, they're probably on the take, have been before, deviant behavior in their past, morals, ethics, integrities, not something they really, are all about. Hey, every day this program on radio, 93.9 FM, television, Cox 4, Spectrum 333. We're on YouTube. Live streaming, CoreyTalks.com, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Lamarck Ford, Lamarck Lincoln in Kennebra on the car corner, Williams Boulevard and I-10, right on the corner, right on the price. And now across the parish, from the lake towards the river, Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood and Harahan. Unbelievable. The Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner, the big store, Lamarck Ford, Lamarck Lincoln, and more. And now Lamarck Crescent City Ford by the river in Elmwood, Harahan, Jefferson Highway. Every day this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Harahan. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. You're the show producer, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Where is LaToya Cantrell from? We got that one answered. LA. Someone said Compton. I don't know if it's Compton. I know Los Angeles. What brought the mayor to New Orleans? Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse are yours. And her last name, maiden name, is a proper noun, obviously, but it seems like it's also an applicable adjective towards this mayor, for this mayor. What's the mayor's maiden name? No intranet device, no Google, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, Bing, none of that. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. A judge has ruled that the Wisner property that the city of New Orleans owns, along with some other entities, I think Tulane University, the United Way, Edward Wisner gave it to the city over 100 years ago. It was 500 acres, I think, with some coastal erosion. It's about 400 acres now, near Port of Fouchon, generates $10 million annually plus. The mayor was controlling it and doling out the money to some of her nonprofits and the like. A judge is saying the mayor no longer controls it, that any expenditure from the Wisner money will have to go through a judge, a court, for approval. And that's good news because the mayor having control of that and spending that money any way she sees fit is a nightmare. And it might be criminal. And thank goodness there are folks investigating all of that. Now, the mayor is, nonstop. I'm telling you. I mentioned Ed Michel, the IG on the show last hour. I asked him, I said, man, you could almost have a person dedicated to the Sewage and Water Board exclusively in your office. I could almost do a show called LaToya the Destroyer. I swear, every day. There's always something. Every single day. Hey, Jeff and Gentili, hang on. Well, not chilly. It ain't hot, though. It's a glorious weather day. Get outside. But keep folks over in Fort Myers, Sarasota, Naples, Fort Myers, especially in your prayers. Hurricane Ian doing some damage. Corey Johnson with you, coming right back to you.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all of the time.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region, with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City, NB Wednesday, Jason, a.k.a. the Ragin' Cajun, a.k.a. the Man in Black, the Heat Magnet, fielding your phone calls. On a wide open Wednesday, you're the show producer. Whatever you'd like to discuss, maybe something we're missing, we're not discussing enough, maybe not discussing at all. You're like, what the hell? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Plus, I got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates out there. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse. Besides the Artemis rocket, named 2 other NASA projects built out in New Orleans East. Saturn V rocket, Space Shuttle external tank. Kaboom goes the dynamite. Where's LaToya Cantrell from? L.A. Someone got that one. Why did she come to New Orleans? That's still out there. What's her maiden name? No intranet device, no search engines. That's still out there. Someone did answer Alan Toussaint at Elysian Fields. Which movie theater used to be there? The Pitt Theater. How about Alan Toussaint and West End Boulevard? What theater used to be there that's no longer there? That's still out there. So the movie theater at West End and Alan Toussaint, give me the name of that. I got 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse for you. The mayor's maiden name and why the mayor came to New Orleans. You got answers? I got 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa for you. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 766-9480. Hurricane Ian hitting south of Tampa. It's amazing. Tampa Bay, the Bay of Tampa, pulled out into the Gulf of Mexico. You can see the bottom of the bay. The flood wall that normally has water right up to it, you can walk right out to it. It's a waterfront. It is a dry sand bottom of the bay, just exposed. There were sharks swimming in the street in Fort Myers, Florida. People in their yard looking out in the street and sharks swimming. You can go to my Twitter at Corey Johnson and see it. It's insane video. No, because here's the deal. We all know when a storm hits New Orleans, we would rather, if it's coming right at us, we would rather it be on the west side of the city. We would rather it be over in, the river parishes or something like that. And if it's doing that, and a counterclockwise motion of the storm, it's going to pull water from the North Shore, from the lake, where there isn't a lot of water, just natural water that's already there that we're dealing with, into the Gulf, away from us. And it's going to push water, on the opposite side. So, say, for instance, a storm hits Gulfport, Biloxi with a counterclockwise spin. It's like the center of the clock. The middle of the clock is at Gulfport and Biloxi. The clock's spinning backwards. When that clock's coming 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, that's New Orleans. That's the storm surge coming from the Gulf into our area. If the storm's on the other side, it goes into the Gulf. For Tampa, just go sideways on that. If the storm hits north of Tampa, the Gulf is coming into the bay. Tampa's relatively flat. It's breaching that subwall and the storm wall, flood wall, and the Gulf and the bay enters Tampa Bay proper. Businesses, houses, streets go underwater. Instead, the storm is south of Tampa, spinning counterclockwise. And it's pulling the bay into the Gulf, which is just temporary. It'll all flow right back in eventually. And the city of Tampa is spared flooding, at least at this point. Spared a storm surge of water filling the bay up and then the bay topping and going into the city. So it's kind of crazy. The storm hit, say, the Fort Myers area, about an hour and a half south of Tampa. So places like Naples and Fort Myers, they're under the storm. They're getting the Gulf storm surge coming in. Tampa's above the storm. They're getting the, winds coming from, that might be a better way to say it, south of the eye of the storm, where it's hitting the Florida coast. The winds are going west to east. The water's going west to east. Above the storm, north of the storm in Tampa, it's going east to west. So Tampa kind of gets spared. And I mean, it's so sad. You look at the video in Fort Myers and Naples, just what we've all seen. We've been there. We've lived it. It stinks. Tampa continues to be spared by hurricanes. I think the last major storm to hit Tampa was 100 years ago or something like that. And their luck continues with Ian. But places south of Tampa, just an hour and a half south, getting crushed, getting inundated. Several feet of water flowing in. No, it's sad. Hey, real quick, I love animals and all that, whatever. I get Jeff Dorson on. We talk about the Humane Society of Louisiana each week. I mean, when there's a hurricane or a storm, your animal's like a family member. If it's not a family member, don't get a pet. Seriously. If you get a pet and you think it's like an alarm for your house, you're an idiot. Selfish, just no empathy, just moronic. But you folks that have pets and you leave for a storm and you leave the pet behind, leave the cat in the house, leave the dog in the yard, I just don't get it. It's crazy. It's insane. It's insane. Don't have an animal if you're not going to be a responsible pet owner. Seriously. When you evacuate, you take the animal with you. Make other arrangements. If, I got Granny in the car, the kids, the animals are just too much, then don't get the animals. Think about the time you might have to evacuate for a storm because you live in Louisiana and it happens every few years, leaving the animals behind. No, so many rescues of animals that we've seen in Fort Myers and Naples so far while the storm's hitting. Dogs on top of dog houses with the water around them and cats on top of air conditioning units and human beings having to go up, chest deep water to go save these animals. I mean, people are idiots. Don't have an animal if you're not going to be a responsible pet owner. My God, it's not a TV set. It's not a material possession. It's a living, feeling creature. I don't know, man. It's crazy. People are delusional. I swear. Absolutely nuts. Hey, why don't you head to Fausto's Italian Bistro tonight? Roland loves animals. So does Fausto. They both have animals, just like me. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets, some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. So good. I love Fausto's. I'm there at least once a week. I was already there Monday. I'll probably go tonight or tomorrow. Pesce limone, so good. Like speckled trout or black drum with that lemony limone sauce. One of the best fish dishes in the city, period, end of story. Pesce limone. Check it out tonight at Fausto's Italian Bistro. I recommend a little fettuccine Alfredo, or if you want to go lighter, maybe that angel hair with the olive oil and garlic, lemon. It's pretty good stuff. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. What a gorgeous day. Outdoor dining tonight at Fausto's. Outdoor dining on a night like this, man. Breezy, gorgeous blue skies. It's amazing how we're having perfect weather and 500 miles across the Gulf, some of the worst weather possible. Just hard to wrap your brain around that. Hey, one of the best in the business, Heath Allen, calling it a day from WDSU Channel 6, a total pro. He'll be missed. Heath could do it all. Report, anchor, host, news director, assignment editor. He's just a television pro you don't see too often. And what I like about his retirement, I'm guessing he's like 60-something. Still young. He's in good shape. He's got a lot of his life in front of him, so he can go enjoy it. I think the article said Heath has 7 children. Wow. 7 children. That's mind-boggling. 7 kids. Wow. Good for Heath. Congratulations, Heath, by the way, for your retirement and having to work with those Mackle kids, Travers and Fletcher, all these years. Geesh, what a nightmare that's be. Hey, Keith. Hey, Heath. Heath, F-bomb, F-bomb, Heath. The mayor, man, F-bomb, Heath. That's just hard to, not even having a conversation listening to that. F-bomb, Heath. F-bomb, I just like, gee, hey, Fletcher, enough. Travers, stop. Travers seems so much more serious than Fletcher. Maybe it's because Travers is married, has 2 kids, does news. Fletcher's single, does sports. And I don't know if Travers wears like the green or maroon suit anymore. I don't know if they're sharing anymore. Travers' wife might have cut that off. No, you're not wearing Fletcher's shirt. I don't care. He washed it. Get your own clothing. What do you mean y'all are sharing underwear? Fletcher and Travers bought a house together in Mid-City, a double. You think that's enough? No, they cut a hole in the wall so they could walk into each other's place unencumbered. Why did you buy a double if you're going to cut a hole in the wall and make it a single? Anyway. Could be a TV show. Good night, Travers. Good night, Fletcher. Each unlocks the door. They're on the porch of their individual unit. They walk in and then they see each other again inside through the big opening they cut in the wall. By the way, Fletcher will join us Friday. Fridays with Fletch. In that, depending on if we go 1 or 2 segments. If it's 1 segment, it's about 12 minutes. If it's 2, it's about 20 minutes. Somewhere in there, we talk sports for a second after usually talking complete nonsense, total crap for a few minutes, just garbage. Anyway, it's fun, though, and we enjoy it. Boy, a gorgeous day out there, ridiculously breezy and windy. Some of Lakeshore Drive was actually shut down because wind coming in from the north and pushing the lake over onto Lakeshore Drive, where a few inches of water on Lakeshore Drive, so they shut it down. That happens. Anyway, a gorgeous day, great weather, lower humidity. It continues for like the next week, seriously, into like next Monday or Tuesday. So we got like another 5-6 days straight of this lower humidity, lower temperatures, blue sky, no chance of rain, absolutely perfect. If you haven't made plans to get outside like in the next few days, do it. Hook up with some friends, meet at a park, sit at a bench, go for a walk, go eat outside somewhere. Get outside, enjoy this weather. It's revitalizing. It really is. In the morning, on the North Shore, the temperatures are in the 50s. South Shore, I woke up this morning and let the dogs out like 6 a.m. It was like 65. It's just tough to beat. It'd be nice to be sitting out at Katie's right now. How about that for outdoors, huh? Friends, New Orleans characters, good drinks, great New Orleans food. Katie's in Mid-City right now. What a great wind down spot. Little after 5:30, beeline to Katie's. Iberville, corner Talamacus, right in between Bienville and Canal Street, in between Carrollton and Doc Francis Parkway, literally the heart of Mid-City. And experience what Scott Craig, the owner, chef, says. More is better. More of the good things. That's Katie's in Mid-City. And you folks out in Harahan, don't forget the Katie's of Harahan, Bienvenue, right on the curve on Hickory Avenue. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Gorgeous day. Corey Johnson with you. Got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates available. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. LaToya Cantrell, why did she come to New Orleans? 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse can be yours. 766-9480. It was around 1990, like 32 years ago. Been in the city like 3 decades now. Coming from Los Angeles. Why did LaToya, the Destroyer, come to New Orleans? 766-9480. Hey, one of you in the know New Orleanians might know her maiden name. No Google, no intranet device. You either know it or you don't. And her name, obviously her maiden name's a proper noun, but it really could be a good adjective for her. Appropriate maiden name for her. Give me the answer to that. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. I thought that might incite a bunch of strictly adjectives that people are going to pretend are proper noun. In today's world, that can work. You can name your child anything you want. Noun, verb, adjective, anything. Doesn't matter. Name them anything. Pen. My kid's name's Pen. P-E-N, Pen. Add an extra N, you know? Oh, boy. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Hey, the movie theater on Allen, Tucson, and West End Boulevard that ain't there no more. Just a lot in that strip mall. Name that theater, and I got 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa for you. 766-9480, 766-9480. A judge ruled that the mayor no longer has control over $10 million plus annually. The Wisner Trust. The city council requested that. And the judge basically saying any money that the city wants to spend coming from that Wisner money has to be approved by a court. So the mayor will not be making these decisions. The mayor gave last year north of $1 million to one of her nonprofits. And I think it's safe to say that if you ask me, the Inspector General's looking into this. If you ask me, law enforcement, the feds are looking into this. This Wisner money, the mayor and her nonprofits. Because when you have a nonprofit, you follow the money. And I'm often talking about a nonprofit on this show where I put my reputation on the line. HumaneLA.org, the Humane Society of Louisiana. Jeff Dorson will join us on the show for 2 or 3 minutes tomorrow. About 96 cents, 97 cents of every dollar donated goes to cats and dogs, kittens and puppies. That means like 3-4 cents on the dollar goes to administrative costs and whatever. The rest goes to dogs, cats, kittens, puppies, horses, goats, animals. 95, 96, 97 cents of every dollar. That's how nonprofits are supposed to work. They're supposed to have integrity. It's not supposed to be, I often joke when the mayor's done as mayor, there'll be no one offering her a job. She brings nothing to the table of no end. Man, we got to hire the mayor, former mayor. She'll bring business to us because she's the former mayor. I mean, name me some entity where that would be applicable. So the mayor's going to start up probably with some friend, some BS nonprofit, talking a lot and providing very little. And, she'll probably take 90% of the money as like salary and expenses. It'll be the opposite of the Humane Society of Louisiana. I would think these nonprofits that the mayor's already started as mayor. I mean, am I onto something here? Started as mayor, transitioned over into it after you're not mayor. I mean, I'm right on the money on this because it's simple. You can sit there and go, God, Corey, you're attacking the mayor. I'm trying to be realistic. Sidney Bartholomew, when he was mayor, stopped being mayor, HRI, Press Kalbakoff hired him because Press was going outside of New Orleans and doing the warehouse district renovations in other cities. Bartholomew knew other mayors in other cities, understood how they worked. He's still working for HRI like 25 years later. Obviously, Press values him and he brings something to the table. Mark Morial was hired after he was mayor for a local law firm. They thought his name would bring in money. It didn't bring in any money, and Mark never worked. I don't think they even cared if he worked or not. They just thought his name on the placard would bring in folks. Didn't bring in any money. After about a year, they cut him loose. Probably paid him a few $100,000, did nothing, and cut him loose. So even Mark Morial provided nothing for anyone locally, coupled with the fact, I think the Fed said, hit the bricks, dude, or we're going to come after you. I mean, I've talked about this for years. Mark Morial, silent, mute, no influence on local elections for the last 20 plus years. And I'm like, thank God, what a blessing that his machine isn't still in place. Jacques Morial, where is he? He's a non-entity, a nobody. Jacques was a big-time player. No, they're just gone. They're off the radar, disappeared. No, I think, there's a few examples of this where the Feds say, if Bill Jefferson would have won election to Congress again, if Joseph Gow wouldn't have won, Bill Jefferson probably would have never went to jail. The Feds probably would have taken him resigning from office as enough. That might have been enough. Resign from office and we won't come after you. And don't ever run for public office again. No, the mayor, those nonprofits are probably very inefficient. Friends are profiting. Friends on the board are getting paid. People that are supposed to be providing services for the nonprofit to provide services to the needy ultimately are probably overpaid and underproviding. It's probably, like I said, the opposite of the Humane Society of Louisiana. Instead of 95, 96, 97 cents of every dollar going to the cats and dogs, with the mayor, instead of 95, 96, 97 cents of every dollar going to these nonprofits, probably goes to the mayor and her pals and her cronies. That would be my guess. A major blow, north of $10 million annually, the mayor doling out this Wisner money. Not anymore. City council intervenes. A judge agrees with the council. Any Wisner money spent by the city of New Orleans needs to be approved now by a court. That is brilliant. Excellent. I love it. Yeah, you right. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. You want a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate? I got one for you. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell. Why did she come to New Orleans in, I think it was 1990? Give me the answer to that. $50 big bucks at the Woodhouse can be yours. What's LaToya the Destroyer? And it's not Destroyer. What's her maiden name? That's a tough one. I guess you just have to know it because, you can't use Google or that doesn't do us any good. I looked it up. It's so-and-so. Great. I'd rather it's this. And the reason I know it is because I knew her brother or whatever. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse is yours, 766-9480. And that movie theater on Allen, Tucson, and West End that ain't there no more, and that strip mall, it's just a lot with a for sale sign. It's been that way for 20 years since they tore down the theater. What was the name of that theater? Allen, Tucson, and West End Boulevard, 766-9480. 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you. Helm Paint and Decorating's with you. They've been around as long as I've been alive, since I was a kid, before I could even really think or do anything. Any memories? Bunky Helm was cranking up Helm Paint and Decorating, late 60s, 1970. Joey Helm, Ronnie Helm, Christy Helm, Keith Main. They're all part of it. It's a family operation. You usually see that crew at the flagship location on Earhart, but there are a half dozen other locations, 7 Helm Paint and Decorating locations to serve you. West Bank, East Bank, New Orleans, Metairie, Kenner, Mandeville, Hammond. There's a Helm Paint and Decorating near you, or do it all online. Benjamin Moore Colors, they got you covered. Yeah, when you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, do it once, do it right. Let them steer you in the right direction. New Orleanians that know Helm Paint and Decorating.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top bench of more exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for finding us, 93.9 FM. Yeah, you're right. James. Good job, James, emailing us, Corey at Corey theatertalks.com. I'm listening to yesterday's show podcast. The theater is. He's answering a cold over from yesterday. He's right. You got the answer right, James. I'm going to reply to James in case he's not listening today. Hello, James, period. Thanks for listening, period. You are correct, period.
You're right.
Ding, ding, ding.
Call Jason tomorrow during show hours, comma. Or email me your address, and I'll send you a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. It's that easy. James nailed it. Uh-oh. One more thing. Thanks again. All right. Good job. Excellent, James. Oh, that reminds me. I think I got a couple of other $50 winners that emailed me. Better mail those in. Send them on into the Woodhouse so they can get you your gift cards. Corey Johnson with you. Wide open Wednesday. Get outside. Drop coals. Light up the gas. I don't know what to tell you. Go walk the dog. Pretend you have a dog and go walk around. Go take a walk. Go sit at a park bench. Go sit on the stoop. Open up the doors, the windows. Let the breeze blow through the house. It's just a really nice weather afternoon right now. I'm going to have to look up the temp. I'm going to guess about by now maybe 77 degrees. I'm going to say 78, and the humidity was a little higher today, but not much, 55% humidity. Let's see, it's 70. It's 80. It's 80 on the dot, and it's, 29% humidity. It was about 50-something earlier today. 29% humidity. I've never seen humidity numbers like that in New Orleans. 29%. Yeah. Temperature 80. Feels like 80. Yeah, you bet your ass it feels like 80 when the humidity's 29%. I'd say for New Orleanians, feels like 70, 75. So no, and it's just going to get nicer tonight. We're going to dip into the high 60s. When you wake up in the morning in New Orleans, it might be mid 60s. North Shore, mid 50s. And then get into the 70s and maybe hit 80 degrees. And it repeats the next day, the next day, the next day. Through the weekend into like Monday, Tuesday of next week. This absolutely incredible weather. And then we warm up a little bit next week by midweek, but not much. Just not as awesome like this. But I don't think we're going back to 90s. I don't think we're going to see 90 degrees in New Orleans until April. I don't think we're going to see 90 degrees Orleans until April. Yeah, Kaare, a week later. Yeah, Jimmy and Chalmette, dude, I heard you a week ago. It's 93 down here in Araby. Humidity's 78%. Feels like 104. Thanks for that info a week ago, dude. Click. No, I think we're done with the summer-like weather, the harsh, high-end crap that you get in July and August. We're almost in October. I think we're done with that. We can still get in the 80s, but we're done with that. It could still get hot and humid, but we're done with that 90 crap. Feels like 103, I think, till like April, May. Probably, May. So that's good. We need the break. We got two seasons. Summer heat and humidity and not summer heat and humidity. Not really a spring, not really a fall, not really a winter, just not the summer heat and humidity. And almost split equally, about 5-6 months each. Yeah, you right. Rouse's Markets phone line 766-9480. What brought LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell to New Orleans in the first place? Give me the answer to that. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. 504-766-9480. Hey, there was a theater on Allen, Toussaint, and West End Boulevard for years. It got torn down. Think of the street name. Name the theater. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. 766-9480. 766-9480. Heath Allen from Channel 26 retiring. Pretty good reporter, anchor, host, assignment editor, producer, news director. You could do it all. Heath was one of the old school guys, but the best of old school and new school. I think he's going to be missed. He was humble, too. He's laid back, cool cat. He's got 7 kids, wife and 7 kids, some grandkids. Plus, I think Heath's relatively young. Get to enjoy life. Good for Heath. A judge agrees with the city council that Wisner land money pulled from the mayor's control. It's like north of $10 million a year. The mayor sent $1 million plus of it to one of her nonprofits. So the mayor no longer controls that money. And the city still owns the property and the money that comes from it. Any money from that Wisner land would have to be cleared through a judge before the city council, the mayor, any city entity can spend it. And that's a good thing, because having LaToya the Destroyer in control of that, 10 plus mil a year, is a nightmare. Like I said, $1 million plus went to one of her nonprofits, and someone's profiting. I mean, check out the program from Monday on YouTube. Sean Randolph joined us. Still the executive director for Forward Together New Orleans. Go to that website, forwardtogetherneworleans.org. He penned a letter to the citizens of New Orleans. Transparency over politics. No, basically, I mean, listen to the interview. It's unreal. The mayor, the mayor's friends, cronies, political allies, people that work in her office, people that work for her campaign, they're on the board of these nonprofits. Total conflict of interest. They profit from these nonprofits. Total conflict of interest. Follow the cash, follow the mayor's friends. Sean Randolph joined us on Monday. You can check it out. Go to our YouTube channel, Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground. By the way, share that link with other folks. Click to subscribe on our YouTube channel. We do it live every day on YouTube, 4 to 6 o'clock. And then you can, via podcast on YouTube, you can check all that stuff out. Like Monday's program with Sean Randolph, where basically saying, naming names in the mayor's administration. The feds are involved. Law enforcement's involved. Multiple hidden bank accounts, duplicate bank accounts he did not know about. This guy, Dr. Griggs, Liana Elliott, who's the cat that was the treasurer that's still controlling the money and isn't part of the group officially anymore. No, it's all in there. Check it out. Sean Randolph, Monday's YouTube broadcast, forwardtogetherneworleans.org. You need to go to forwardtogetherneworleans.org just to read the letter. Transparency over politics. No, he said everything. Just always just BS. Mayor's pals, friends involved in all this stuff. Hey, Fury's restaurant is open till 9 p.m. tonight. Start with onion rings. Get the turtle soup or the gumbo to start. And then what I recommend, either some local New Orleans favorites. They got great New Orleans favorites, home style, kind of feel-good food, comfort food, red beans and rice, white beans, fried pork chop, all kind of good stuff, all kind of lunch and dinner specials, New Orleans food. But what I love most about Fury's, old school New Orleans, John, his brother Manny Fury, besides the fact that they've been at this place for almost 40 years now, they do it old school in the sense they got not one but 2 seafood purveyors. And it's all local fresh seafood. They would never, we could save money and serve these frozen shrimp. We could save money and serve these shrimp from Taiwan. We can get crawfish from China. We can serve tilapia instead of speckled trout. None of that. They never sold out. They never relented. They never gave in. They never said, you know what, that's where it's going. Instead, they said, you know what? Let those people go there. We're sticking to our roots. We're not changing. I mean, John and Manny are like, isn't this like ground zero for the best seafood in the world right around Metro New Orleans? And we're going to use frozen stuff or stuff from another state or another country? Why would you ever do that? I mean, unless you're serving Dover sole or live Maine lobster, something like that, it makes no sense. So you can always expect speckled trout and flounder and snapper, local fresh fish, local fresh seafood. That's all they know. That's the only way they know how to do it at Fury's. Open till 9 p.m. Fury's restaurant in Metairie. So good. So good. Love Fury's. Hey, New Orleans, 93.9 FM is our radio home. Learn it, love it, live it. Make it one of your presets. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. What's that, Blue Boy? Folks can watch us on TV till 5:30 on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. You're right. For a couple of months you can watch? What? For a couple of months? Oh, we've been on YouTube for a couple of months now. You're right, buddy. YouTube channel. Click to subscribe. What else? Thank the listening audience, the viewing audience, Jason the Raging Cajun. What, buddy? 93.9 FM, New Orleans, legal ID. Buddy, I don't know what I'd do without you.